All right, hello, hello. You're listening to Feast Like Odin. We're having a great time here. We mix food and animation. We're set in Connecticut, and we do plan to go farther afield. We've gotten to drop some cool restaurants in Connecticut. The time is fast approaching to start exploring the West Coast and beyond. I'm Will, and I'm here with Jeff.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, uh, Yeah, so I mentioned this in the last episode that we made. We were going to talk about a Spider-Man video game that Jeff you were really into. I
Yeah.
might have actually butchered the explanation on that. We took some time. We talked about the food a lot last episode, which I think was cool because we've been doing mostly animation, I think, and you know that side. And oh my gosh, I hope I've said everything right. I might I
Heck yeah.
might I might be blurring, I
Blurring
might
some
have
lines. Yeah.
blurring
It
lines,
happens.
I guess that term is ruined, but I have blurred vision, blurred, me
Yeah.
memory. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Whatever.
Amen to that.
Yeah, so my bro, what's this Spider-Man game? Tell me all about it. Start from the
So
beginning.
the one that came up in our earlier talks was Ultimate Spider-Man by
Hmm,
Activision way back in the day.
okay.
2005 video game was released, and I was playing it on the original Xbox, I remember. Um, but I think it released for like the PlayStation 2 and probably PC. I'm not sure how big PC gaming was back in the day. I was a wee little babby, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but it was a really entertaining game. It's so the style was cell shading, so which is that like super cartoony, blocky kind of animation. So it really
Mm-hmm.
kind of fit the vibe of a comic book strip.
Right,
Uh,
wrong. But basically, it's like Sony teamed up with Marvel to bring the OG Spider-Man movies featuring Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst and
yep.
James Franco and Rosemary Harris. I mean, I've memorized those title
Yeah.
sequences, and I will probably be using that information soon. Big Spider-Man fan over here. Who isn't? Spider-Verse and
Yeah.
but anyway, it does look like, you know, it looks like Sony will have a part in continuing the legacy of Spider-Man for years to come. It's looking like that. And we're about to, the Spider-Verse is expanding as we speak. I just saw something today, and I guess the character of Silk is getting their own series, like a spin-off
Oh,
series or
cool.
something like that from the Spider-Verse 2 movie that's going to come out. We did try, for some reason, we had a day where we made bonus clips. And so we talked about Spider-Verse as a bonus clip instead of a main episode. I don't know
Oh man.
why on earth. I think it's like we picked a couple mammoth titles to just do as clips, and I think the reason is because like we can't consider ourselves authorities on you know these major titles that are just
Yeah.
like, we're hanging out
That are
too,
just so
you
cemented in
know.
the cultural ethos at this point. I mean, Spider Verse was an absolute
Yeah,
joy,
yeah,
and it came out of nowhere for me.
yeah.
Uh,
So uh in the live action world, which we actually try to stay out of when we do Feast Like Odin, but basically, what I'm trying to say is, you know, the actor Jamie Foxx got us out of the era of Blue Electro, and now like
yeah, yeah,
in the newest in Spider-Man No Way Home, he's more of a gear-based villain, and he was like people get it, like they like that. He was basically saying that, that's where it's at. um I think I mostly agree. But Blue Electro certainly made me think. And
right. If I pass through New York City and
mhm,
don't get a street dog or a slice. Anytime I'm moving through, like if I just catching the train through and I don't at least like step out of Grand Central and like snag a something off of
Yeah,
a
man.
cart. I mean I
Tell
think
you
that's a
what.
very big part of culture there.
So I actually forgot, but I do have this plan down the road. Um, not too far down the road, by the way. So this could be a little bit of a teaser, or who knows what's going to happen. Maybe I'll really get into another gear, and um, people will know about this by the time this episode comes out or whatever. But I was gonna do some. I was gonna maybe find a way to talk about Spider-Man a little extra. I was gonna
Yeah,
I was gonna pair him with bagels and cream cheese. That being said,
perfect.
that being said, a street dog is a very good competitor for that. So why don't you take us through it? You've gotten a good street dog out on NYC
Oh, amazing.
sometime, and
So yeah, I would be hard pressed to, hammer it down to
oh
a
yeah,
place. Like normally we've got like, oh, this is the restaurant we're featuring, but like when you're talking street dogs, I mean, I just walk through the blocks and
yeah,
just
oh
you'll
yeah,
pass a million carts,
sure.
and I don't know that I've ever had one that wasn't satisfying. Now, you've got to
Counts as breakfast, by the way. I know it's our Saturday morning podcast. We
yeah,
talk about
oh,
food and
absolutely. Hey,
animation, but
you're
you
you're
can wake
passing
up
through.
out that Costco in
Yeah,
Brookfield.
yeah.
They do a good dog,
Costco's a
right?
damn good dog.
It's
It's
huge.
inexpensive. It's
Yeah,
massive. I
yeah,
think it's a foot long for like a couple bucks. It's
right.
huge, and
Yeah.
it is affordable.
So
So
yeah, because it's like I think about, in New York City, you'll see a picture of a hot dog and some really low price and like massive lettering.
yeah,
And then I was like, I was having all that New York City nostalgia, and I was like, suddenly I was like, am I thinking of the kiosks in New York City or that sign at the Costco? And
yeah.
and by the way, to continue this thread, this is amazing, right? We do know people, we know about this Brooklyn muffin shop called Connecticut Muffin.
Yeah.
It's like, and it is ridiculous. It's like there's no affinity for muffins in Connecticut. And I think I actually researched it. Not that I hate, actually, Jeff, I I nominate ourselves to be the spokes. We should do an ad for Connecticut Muffin. Like we're the guys. We are
Yeah.
the
No, I
guys.
dig it. I dig it, man.
We like, neither of us are union actors, but Jeff is a fucking wonder. He's got the X factor. Like seriously, like grab him, take me along, and we'll do a commercial for Connecticut Muffin.
Eat a muffin. Yeah, I could dig that.
You can
I
sponsor
I can
us
get
as
down
well.
on a good muffin, man. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. So I do want to shout out also. I'm not knocking. I couldn't find. So there, we had Blue Electro for a while, and I gotta say, too powerful. I mean, I actually think once he's got those blues on, he's like one of the most powerful. And also, I want to say, in the comics, like sometimes Electro really is the worst. He is like a sinister, he is like it's
Yeah.
like the Breaking Bad thing of like he really could be doing something better with his life, but he decided to be Electro
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
There's and it's funny because you were talking about the Ultimate Spider-Man game where you get to feature Venom. I do have the Road to Venom uh, compendium, and so it's like several. Basically, in the comic book world, they take several issues, they wrap them up into volumes. They look almost like
Yeah.
books, and and
Yeah.
but there was so in Road to Venom, Electro shows up, and Spider-Man is like he's literally lamenting himself. He's like, "What's wrong with me? I can't even beat a B-lister like Electro." And I'm like, "Electro is a conductor of pure energy. Like, don't be too hard
Yeah.
on yourself, Spider-Man." It's like, but
Oh
but
man.
yeah. So what's our timestamp, my bro?
We just ran out the clock a moment ago.
This is kind of a classic, man. We had a different plan for this one, but we just stayed on Spider-Man. Good for
Yeah,
us. Good for us. We're
great.
gonna keep it running. This is not the last time we talk about the wall crawler, the web slinger.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so again, I have said this a few times. I will say it a few more times. Interviewed. There's dude, my there's nothing. If you're watching the video, something's going on with my mustache right now. It's like the light is hitting like one piece, like or whatever.
I was
Anyway,
gonna say it's
so
not coming through on my end.
oh man,
So
I
you
just had
good.
a total caffeinated like meltdown right in front right in front of you, my man. Wow, we had a good time. We talked about all things Spider-Man, including street food. I'm very happy, Hopefully we'll see Spider-Man swinging around with a dog um soon. So Spectacular Spider-Man, also a good animated series. Electro super powerful. Man, I thought I had one more thing. It's just out the window now.
Into the ether, my man.
Little meltdown. Anyway, here. Well, we do our Connecticut Muffin commercial, and somebody from Marvel walks up to you and goes, "That was great. You're an amazing actor, and you don't have any formal training. Um, why don't you write a Spider-Man comic for a while, right?
Yeah,
Who's the first villain from that classic Rogues Gallery that you're thinking of?"
man. So, man, it's so hard to nail one down. I actually really like Rhino. And I think I like the foil between him and Spidey because I mean Spidey is clearly stronger than your average like human being. But there's something about him being so lithe and agile, and he's got that quick wit. He's thinking on his feet, and I mean you've got to if you're literally slinging around on New York City skyscrapers, right? And then you've got this like brutal like
Yeah,
almost this like juggernaut vibe, right? Where it's just like he's unstoppable, he's got the momentum, he's got violence and
right.
momentum, and that's his thing. So I like that foil between the two of them. So I think if I were to start off, and that's not to say that I wouldn't branch into the rest of the wealth of this rogues gallery, but as that first kind of punctuation, right? You've got this great interplay between the two, like the night and day difference between Spidey and Rhino, and I really like that from a thematic standpoint.
Jeff, that is money, my friend. If I picked up, because they actually in the comic books they they do what you do, Jeff. They go back to one, right? And there's a
Mm,
brand new Spider-Man issue one. We all know Spider-Man. Most of us know that Spider-Man was created in the '60s.
yeah,
But anyway, um, excellent. I have to say, if I picked up a comic book, it's just like here's some new writer, and he's starting his run on Spider-Man, and I opened that bad boy up, and it was Rhino. I'd be like, this is new, this is different, and that's a really cool choice, my friend. And actually, you are in good company. I'm gonna do a swag today. I picked up this single issue of Savage Avengers,
nice.
issue number 20, Savage Avengers. So the story centers on Conan, right?
Yeah.
And Conan teams up with Rhino, and they rob a bank, and Spider-Man tries to stop them. Um, but Spider-Man doesn't take Conan seriously enough, actually. I have to
Huh.
admit, this is a Spider-Man loses in this comic.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what? I'm gonna do one more. Okay. Uh, Jeff, thanks for running up the timestamp with me, bro. And I just
Hell
want
yeah,
to
man.
say, under this comic book, on my stack here, is actually Get Gyro, the comic book written by Anthony Bourdain. So I am managing. I'll show everyone the cover because I just said it, but Spider-Man and Paladin. Uh, I tried to I tried to feature this comic book earlier on from a podcast. I'm just looking at this giant fucking gun on the front cover. Uh, Finally, this is it. People get Gyro, Anthony Bourdain. Uh, Whoops, I'm double dipping here. This is Vertigo, but it's Anthony Bourdain, and we're a food podcast technically.
Oh
So there
yeah,
you go. All right. So thanks everyone. Thank you, Jeff, for hanging out.
most definitely, dude.
We finished our batch recordings. I'm gonna give you a nice long rest, man. Go to the Pokemon Center and
Yeah,
heal up,
heading to
as we've said
hibernation.
in the past. Hibernation indeed. Yeah. All right. So we had a great time here. It's Feast Like Odin. We also do the Lemon Drop Sessions, a podcast about food and music. We never say this, but please like, share, subscribe. Our Instagram handle is at Feast Like Odin Podcast, and also the quote unquote mothership at HiPod_4. HAIPOD underscore the number 4.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Join on in, guys. We can't feast alone.
Can't feast alone.